Good morning, good afternoon, middle of the day.
What potentially getting a guy like Malcolm back? I know he's kind of working his way there. He's full participant in practice. It looks like he's getting closer. Just what could that mean for teams?
Yeah, anytime. I mean, he's a great player, or has been a very good player on teams. I'll say that for sure. Anytime you get a good player back, that obviously helps the whole group. So it'll be good. The better player that's out there, the less load everyone else has to carry. So it helps pass the load or share the load around.
Return to Philly, what does it mean to you?
Yeah, it'll be incredible. I love the place. It was an incredible experience there. I was there for 8 years. We have a lot of friends. My kids, spent a lot of their childhood years growing up there. They love it. They got a lot of friends there. We had a lot of success as a team, individually also, for us on special teams, so that was good. And then obviously winning the Super Bowl is incredible. So going back there will be epic. I can't wait. I'm fired up. I look forward to being on the other side of it, just to see that side of it too. Those fans are incredible. They're very fanatic and passionate about the game, and they're very knowledgeable too, so it'll be fun.
How did your life change and your place in that city and its history change when you were a part of that Super Bowl?
I don't know. I think those people will appreciate you forever, no matter what. There, when you win it, it's what we got to make sure we find a way to get done here. But yeah, it was great. I don't know that it changes a whole lot for me individually, other than deep down that at the end of the day, it's probably like reward maybe more than anything for my parents, the sacrifices and commitment that they made to helping get me through high school and junior high school and all that stuff. And maybe they feel like, hey, he actually did something. So and it was worth all this struggle that they went through. But other than that, I have one ring, so I have 3 kids. One of them gets it. We got to get 2 more, so we can give them each one. Yeah.
How did you feel the team unit adapted from the Vikings game to the Commanders game?
Vikings to Commanders, some good, some bad. Obviously, some of the same things showed up. We had the low trajectory kick. We really had 2 of them in the Washington game. One of them that got blocked, so obviously something we got to get fixed. I think I've said every year since Bates has been here that he's going to have some ups and downs, and we really haven't seen the downs so much. We're seeing them right now a little bit. At the end of the day, I think that anytime you're in a situation like this game will humble you, but in a situation like this, it gives you an opportunity to grow and get better, and I think he'll do that probably in multiple ways, maybe a little bit technique stuff, also mindset stuff. I think 15 years down the road, he'll probably look back and say, it was good for me and made me better. So he's got to attack that the right way, and he's got to respond, obviously, and get better. I got to help him out, certainly my job too. But I do know this. He is a great player. I won't waver one bit with him. It's hard to find good kickers in this league, and he's certainly one of those. So we got to work through it together and come out the other side of it. So that wasn't great, obviously. I thought from a coverage standpoint, it's interesting. It drives me crazy when you see the ball get past the 40-yard line when you're covering a kickoff. But I would say also because of that, and I'm certainly not making an excuse. That's definitely not my standard. I will tell you that for sure. I like the ball inside the 30. But their drive start at the end of the game was the 28-yard line. To me, that's the most important thing probably at the end of that play. Well, there was only 3 other teams that had a better drive start around the league after that play last week. And then if you look at on the season, there's only 4. There's, I think, the 4th best team on drive start. Their drive start is the 28-yard line. So ultimately, you'd say like that performance was actually top 4 in the league or something like that on that day, even though the ball got past the 40-yard line. And then you look more into the numbers of that and you see that, well, there's actually like 90 of those things that have crossed the 40-yard line. So 30 teams, 32 teams. That's 3 a team on average. So this is happening. And then you go through and you see, well, it's happening to a lot of people or most people. So I'm not saying it's normal, but the play is a volatile play. I think a long time ago, I was coaching in 2004 at the University of Nevada, and this coach said to me, is perception reality or is reality reality? And I was like, what do you mean? I don't really know. Well, I think our perception of like the kickoff is the old play. And on the old play, if the ball came back past the 35 or something, you'd say, hey, man, that wasn't very good. On this play, I hate to say it, but there's a lot of them that do that, you know. So it's a volatile play. We got to find a way to cover it up and do a better job and not letting it get so far down the field. At the end of the day, I think this play is different than what the kickoff used to be, and it's happening to everybody a little bit. So overall, you look at it and you say, well, the performance was better than you thought, or your gut felt, or certainly mine at the end of the play. And I'm definitely not making an excuse, but at the same time, you got to dive down into it and find out what is going on and what is normal for this play. And I think normal is different than what it used to be.
Kicking it out of bounds after the penalties, and is there some, I don't know, is that something maybe that needs to be looked at to change to force a kickoff like in the off season?
Yeah, I feel like the league looks at the rules and then we just play by whatever they make. But the rule on the play is if the ball goes out of bounds, provided that it's out of bounds further than 25 yards down the field from where the ball was kicked, then the placement of the ball would be 25 yards from where the ball is kicked. So we kicked it past the 25-yard line out of bounds, and we were kicking off from the 50, so then that puts it at the 25. Had we kicked the ball out of bounds, let's say at the 30, then the ball would have gone to the 30. So if you're short of the line, then it doesn't matter, but if you're further in the line. So ultimately, it's like, 25-yard drive start, and there's not a lot of risk to it. Obviously, you eliminate the risk. Some people are finding a way on that kick to get the ball down on the ground, see if they can get a touchback to the 20, something like that, or recover it and tackle a guy. But for us, the best play with Bates is to kick it out of bounds.
Dave, Jack Campbell is obviously known first and foremost as a linebacker, and that's kind of his role on this team primarily. But how much are you appreciating the contributions that he's also making to your unit?
Yeah. I mean, he's awesome. He'll do whatever it takes. Obviously, I think his first 2 years he played for us on punt. And he was out there on every punt as he was, growing as a linebacker, and then really second year starting as a linebacker, he's still playing on punt. So he's been great. He plays on that. Barnes really plays on punt for us this year. So we have a number of guys that have to play. Ultimately, we only have so many, so everyone's got to take a role. But the great thing about him is he does it. He has a smile on his face. He's trying to be great at it. You know what I mean? And it really helps. And he helps our unit. I always feel like if they start at the 35 after the kickoff, that's good. But they get one first down against your defense. Well, now it's at the 45. Well, I mean, what's the difference between giving up that 10 yards on defense or giving up that 10 yards on a special teams? It's the same thing. We're all fighting for yards on every play. Whether it happens in one phase or the other, to me, really doesn't make a difference. So ultimately, you really should be putting your best players out there to help your team the best you can. A field position is important.
I know coaches like to lead into the cliche of like nameless, faceless opponent, but is Dan really good at just kind of be real about certain games and what the stakes are? And I mean, how good is he about articulating kind of?
Yeah, I don't know that we talk a lot about the stakes, or he talks a lot about the stakes, but I think he talks a lot about each individual opponent, and he articulates very, very well exactly what it's going to take to win that game, and whether that's in all 3 phases, really, and then within all 3 phases, how it's going to go down and what type of temperament, mentality, attitude we have to have. So he's incredible with predicting what's going to go down in the course of a game.
What's that like, though, specifically for a game like this one where, again, you're facing a team?
Yeah, I'll let him answer all that stuff, but yeah, I'll stay out of that.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
All right, quick recap of who did we just play? The Washington game. So obviously it was a great team win. It was a collective effort, all 3 units. But again, I left that game, and again, I try to kind of glass half, or I want to be appreciative of every win. But I left that game feeling like we should have played a more dominant brand of defense than we did. And I know I said that coming out the Vikings game. And there's a lot of things we did do well, starting with the run game. We knew going in Washington was going to make a conservative effort to run the football, just like we're dealing with again this week. And I think we had them right around 3.4 per attempt, which is good run defense in this league. Still some runs in there that I would like to have back, but that is what it is. It's the pass game that we got to clean up. Giving up these explosives that shouldn't be there. I say these 50-50 balls, that's the thing that has to improve upon the back 7 linebackers, and especially the back end. When the ball's in the air traveling over 30 yards, it has to be our ball. And that's the mentality I want our DBs to take on, and I know they will because I know who coaches that room. On 3rd down, they were 2 of 10, 20%. That's a really, really good day. Excellent job. And that's a collective effort, front and back end. But it's the 4th down that has to improve. Critical situations, critical moments in the game. It's now 2 weeks in a row where we need to stand up and make those plays. All 3 touchdowns came off of 4th down conversions in the Washington game. Had a 4th and 1 in the low red. Vontae Maddox was there at the point of attack, bang, bang play. He has to find a way to make that play. 4th and 3, unexcusable mental error. God, Debo Samuel, a route we've practiced since training camp. Everybody runs that route. Unexcusable to give up that touchdown. And then 4th and 5, my man Art Millett, I told you I put him right back there in that situation. Now, that was deja vu because it was damn near the exact same route, exact same everything. But I felt like he was in even better position this time. And Debo made a phenomenal catch behind his back. But I told Art, and he knows this, man, ultra competitive guy. And I told not only Art, I told the whole room, being in position, that's good in training camp. That's good maybe week 1, week 2, week 3. But where we're at right now in this season, being in position isn't good enough. You're paid to be in position. Now you got to go make those plays. In critical moments in games like we're getting ourselves into, the down this back stretch of November, December, January, you have to make those plays because that will dictate the outcome of the game. So a lot of good to take from it, but also a lot to learn from, which I know our guys will. I can tell you by the way they practiced yesterday, it was outstanding. Attention to detail, guys understanding the waters we're going into this weekend, and I'm looking forward to it.
Their running game maybe hasn't been what it was last year. It's still very, potent. What do you see from Saquon, from that offensive line, the Eagles running game this week? Yeah, probably one of the most violent units I've seen as far as the offensive line. Obviously coached by one of, if not the best. No slight to Hank. They're right there, 1A, 1B, whatever you want to call it, but Stout is the man. And it's for a reason. You turn on the tape. I talk to y'all about this all the time. Everybody want to say what makes a good coach. You got to turn their players' film on, and that's what makes a good coach. Not somebody that can stand up here and give a dissertation about their scheme and their schematics. Let me see what your players do when I turn the tape on. And his players have performed at a high level and always have, and they still are. I don't care about the numbers and what they say. I know what that tape says. And if you give 26 a lane, he's going to find it, and he has home run ability. He's one of the most elite backs in this league, in this game, and it has been. He's a generational talent. We have one that we see every day in this building here with Gibbs, and he's in the same boat, same territory. So we understand it's a tall task, but it's one that I'm looking forward to see our front stand up to really see where we stand as far as a physicality standpoint. Gap integrity standpoint, you have to be gap sound against this running back because, like I said, he'll find it and he'll hurt you if he finds it.
Sticking with that theme a little bit, tush push is obviously a big topic when you play the Eagles. You guys have been really good on those 3rd and 4th down, 1 and 2 yards against the run. What has been, the heart of your success on those plays this year?
The players. Has nothing to do with scheme. It's the players. When you talk about the game of inches, they take pride in it. And they've thrived in those situations. But I credit the players, and it starts with that interior. DJ Reader, you turn on all those. He's a force. You can't move him. Tyleek Williams, Roy Lopez, who, by the way, man, popped off the tape. You talk about a guy popping off the tape and making the most of your opportunities. That's why I say don't soak and feel sorry for yourself. No matter if you get 5 or 50 plays, what are you going to do with those? And he got 12, and I felt them on all 12, and he popped. So like I told the room, when you pop off the tape like that, your role's going to expand. And it's up to the guy to look next to you and say, we play the same position, and his role's expanding, so what's happening with mine? And that's what you want. That's when you talk championship caliber defenses, is that type of conversations that how are we going to get this guy on the field? How are we going to do this because of the way they're playing? And that breeds competition within the season, and that's what we have right now. Yeah.
Sorry, Shep. When did Roy first catch your eye in this league as someone that could potentially fit this team and this defense? And what do you like most about what he adds to the defensive line?
When we played Arizona and I heard the way that Frank Ragnow talked about him, kind of a guy that we never heard. If I'm being honest, I never really knew much about Roy until we played the Cardinals. And when I heard Hank Fraley and Frank Ragnow say that dude's real. And that's one of the best noses I've gone against this year. And it's like, whoa, who are they talking about? And you turn on his tape. And you turn on the Arizona tape, nose tackles don't get a lot of praise. And that's what he played primarily in Arizona, was straight nose tackle over the center, and he wore him out. He doesn't get the credit that he deserves as far as his athleticism and his first step quickness. I think that you guys got to see on display in Washington. But yeah, man, he's been phenomenal. And you talking about ultra team guy, selfless. He doesn't care if he plays 1 or 50 snaps. He's going to make the most of his opportunities.
Roy popping the way he is, Shep. Obviously, Tyleek is seeing a little bit smaller role here this last couple games, of course, with Aleem coming back as well. How have you seen the rookie respond to the diminished role?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's diminished. I think he understood what he was getting himself into when he was drafted and what it would look like when Aleem came back. So I don't think he's surprised by any stretch. We're completely transparent here. It's no knock against him. But I would like to see Tyleek play more. With what he was doing early in the year now, I'm not saying he's Warren Sapp or anything by any stretch. It's a lot of growth with him, and he knows where I need him to continue to grow and strive. But he should be playing more than 8 to 10 snaps, and we'll make sure that happens. But at the same time, you don't want to just start keeping rep counts and tally sheets. That's what I tell them. Don't get into that business. We're going to go with the guy that's kind of hot that day. And if that's Roy, well, Roy's going to play more. If that's Reeder's going to play more. If that's a link, and that's how we operate here and always have. We don't try to please anyone. We're going to please this team and do right by this team, and that's going with the best guy on that day.
Speaking of transparency, how good is this organization about kind of, acknowledging the reality when you are playing a team like the Eagles that, it's a bigger game maybe than others, because it seems like a lot of teams, want to treat every game the same, nameless, faceless opponent. But here it seems like, you're willing to kind of acknowledge the reality of the stakes of each game.
Yeah, I just think it's from a standpoint of, I'll tell you what I was taught and continue to learn from our head coach, is that you better treat them all the same. Because that's how you end up walking away from games. How did we do that? How did we lose that game? But I'll also be kidding you to say that we are not aware that we're walking into the Super Bowl champions' house. They've won a lot of games the last 3-4 years. And there's a standard that's been set over there. Walking into that stadium, Lincoln Financial, is going to be an explosive atmosphere. And you want to see how your players respond in those situations. But for me, it's not just the players. I want to see how our coaches respond. Whether we go in there and go up 3 touchdowns or we fall into an adverse situation. When you're playing an elite opponent like this across the board, O-line, there's no deficiency in their team. So that's why you say it's kind of different. There's no deficiency. Show me what it is. So when you're dealing with something like that on the road, I think that's what adds a little more to it, kind of to where you kind of want to see where you really stand in these hostile moments. So now when you get into January, it's no surprise to you or your players, the staff, of what you would do in those situations. So I think that's more the excitement, not that this game is different than the Vikings game or that game is different. I think it's just the situation dictates kind of the circumstance of why this is a tick bigger.
Terrion was having a great game, Terrion, before he had to come out. how have you kind of taken on the off-the-field coaching role? Because he's trying to grow, but maybe having some injury setbacks. And I guess what kind of conversations are you having with him, helping him keep upright and continue that trajectory?
Oh, he's upright as ever, a little too upright for me for not playing this week. But I say, you're not practicing, why are you so excited today? But that's just him, seriously, like kind of little brother, father figure, whatever you want to call it. Like, he's giving me no choice but to take that role on. And man, I love him because the thing I love most about him, seriously, is that I challenge that player and I challenged him publicly. And a lot of guys can't take that. And I know he's one that can because of the relationship we have. He knows I'm not like being demeaning towards him. I'm being very demanding, no, because I see something in him. I see what he can be, and I fully expect him to not only reach that, but usurp it. And I think he will. But he responded. You look down, he had a play in a tight red, probably my most proudest play. His coverage speaks for itself. But I told you the part of the game I was looking for. And you look down in the tight red, they ran a sweep to him. He had a blocker on him. He beats the blocker and goes under to make the play. That was probably my most proud play in that game of Terry Young. A player that's responding in an adverse situation, coach calling me out. He could take that so wrong and go down in the dumps, but he did the opposite. So, I'll be very excited knowing when I get that player back, and it'd also be good to see him finish a game here because, but no, man, I love Terry Young. He's doing a phenomenal job, and Deshai's continuing to develop that player each and every day.
Josh Paschal is on the cusp of returning. Josh Paschal's on the cusp of returning here. Played a ton for you guys last year, 40, 50 snaps a game. Brad talked about maybe him playing a little bit more inside in the spring, then the injury happens. How do you see him kind of fitting into the rotation when he gets that last medical clearance hurdle, Shep?
Yep, just another player that can help us. Like I said, it's about to be fun when the Rabbit get the gun back. I got Davenport out on the grass. When I look up and see DJ Reed, I see Paschal out on the grass. I see Kirby progressing on the grass. Like, man, listen, there's no slight to anybody we've had up, but those guys have played a lot of ball for us. I know exactly what Paschal brings to the table. I know exactly how he can help us. And like I told him a month ago, as soon as he's available, he'll be right back, plug and play exactly where I see fit for him. And you guys just got to wait and see where that is.
Shep, I just want to paraphrase something I believe you said it was around the Ravens game. You said, you've been calling defense for the past couple of years. We just didn't know about it. Factoring in what Jalen Hurts is, how formidable the Eagles have been with getting Saquon and the tush push. How long have you been longing to call the defense against that offense?
I think last time we played, I'm thinking it was 2022, week 1. So I really haven't had any thoughts, really. Obviously, the past couple of years, there's been kind of early conversations because once you get in the postseason, you got to try to start to plan for who it could be for your breakdown guys and things like that. So it's been things that pop in my mind, so to say. But all I remember is the last time we played these guys, I think they ran for over 200 yards. So I'm just really, really excited for the opportunity of our guys to go out again. It's a great litmus test for us. Dominant front they have, a dominant running back, and to see where we stand as far as the front seven in the physicality department this Sunday night.
I know with Hassan back in the building, he's really eager, and I know he's still on practice squad for now, but what are you noticing from him just being back and excited to be absorbing everything again?
Oh, even before he was back, the paragraph texts he's saying after the game, and just thrilled to have the opportunity to be coached by you guys. And I mean, he's a very unique individual from a standpoint of, I don't know if he's ever had a bad day. I'm serious. It's unbelievable. His energy's contagious. Almost comes off at first. People saw him at the combine yelling before the drill, and is this fake? Is he seriously being serious when he says, Coach, I absolutely love you? No, I'm serious. I'm like, love you too? But he's serious. He means it. The kid's passionate. He's appreciative of these opportunities that he's getting afforded. I mean, this kid, again, 6 years ago, he had no idea he would be living this kind of dream of his. He thought it was out of the realm of comprehension that he could be in the NFL. So it just reminds you, that guy reminds me to appreciate each and every moment don't take things for granted. And it's good to have that type of energy back around the guys and in the locker room.
This kind of point in the season, right? Things are dragging on and it's just getting harder and harder. Does that type of intangible energy bring a little boost?
Absolutely. The guys love Hassan, man. He does a great job. And I know the O-line's looking forward to him getting back out there, giving them those dynamic looks.
Jeff, just real quick, what was the most hostile road environment that you played in, either in college or the pros? Is there one in particular that stands out?
Ooh. In college, 2010 Auburn against Cam Newton, probably.
Start off with Philadelphia. Know Vic very well, work with him at the Niners. Have a lot of respect for him, what he does. And he's been well renowned in this business for a long time. It was good that he got a Super Bowl for the first time last year. I texted him as soon as it happened. But listen, we got a lot of work to do up handling these guys up front. That's the biggest thing, the rush, their front, man, they really get after it. And it was the same thing when I was in San Francisco. We had a great front seven. I mean, that's what he really relies on. They don't do a lot of stuff. It's just they really rely on that front. And the back end, they do a really good job. They're real disciplined. They don't do a lot of stuff, so they know exactly what they're doing. So we're looking forward to the challenge. So any questions?
We start with just last week.
Yeah.
You know, obviously when Dan took the play calling, can you just walk us through how that went for you? I know that was important for you to be a play caller, getting a second shot. So what did when he took it from you? How did you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say exactly how it went down because that's private, but I fully support it. Listen, man, I've been doing this for a while. I've been with head coaches that are offensive guys, play callers, so I'm used to that. I feel very prideful of the things that I was doing. There's some things that I got to learn, no doubt, just like everybody else. But listen, I want to do whatever it takes to win. I mean, as soon as you said, I'm like, all right, let's go. What do we got to do? That's the way I've always been in this business. I've been cut 6 times. I've been fired. Man, you just march on, okay? Because it's always about the team. It always is. It ain't about me. Goals and this and that. No, the ultimate goal is to win the Super Bowl. So I didn't even blink twice because I know my role here. And the only thing that's changed is that he's calling it on game day. I'm doing everything else is still the same. So I don't blink twice when things happen in this business. You always expect the unexpected and you move on. That's the way I've been taught. That's the way I've always done it. So I like where we're at. I mean, I'm going to help him as much as I can, just like I did last week during the game. Getting to feel how he does things, how they've done it here, and that's good. That's what I need to see that. And I'm helping him with things that he doesn't, because he hasn't called plays a lot, and neither have I. But I tell you what, the collaboration that we always have great communication. Every day we always talk, and it's been great. It's been great, and. Like I said, man, I just move forward. I just want to win. I'll do whatever it takes to help this team to win. You know what I'm saying? So I have a role. I know what it is. If he wants me to be ready again, I'll be ready. That's the way I approach it because I've always approached every game. I've helped Coach Payton on game day and John Gruden, I've helped them on game day. So I've always approached the game like I'm calling it. That's the way I've always done it. I've always prepared like a coordinator. So I think that's helped me. And I continue to do the same stuff.
Dan said, does the respect level, do you gain a different level of respect for Dan approaching things head on? You're not hearing from nobody else. He's coming straight to you.
Oh, yeah.
How much do you respect that? Respect the man to man in that conversation.
Well, we always talk about it. And I think it's great because there's things that maybe he was always asking me questions, because I'm really heavily in the passing game, obviously. And I'm help him. In the run game, I have questions. And that's just that communication every single day, along with Jared, and it's just been awesome. It's been awesome. So, like I said, man, I don't blink. Let's just go on. We're moving on. How do we beat Philadelphia? What's the best way of doing it? And we just keep marching forward, man.
You alluded, though, to the possibility of regaining the play caller role. Dan said the same thing when we talked to him the other day. So I guess just how do you approach the rest of the season knowing that that's still on the table?
Yeah, I observe what's going on during the game, and I just prepare like I'm doing it. Like I did last week, I'm preparing like I'm calling the game. All right? Because in the game, I'm like, okay, you're getting this, you're getting that. Okay, be ready for this. Or that you know what I mean? I help him with that. So I'm approaching it like I'm still calling it. And then I'm kind of watching how he does things a certain way, you know, to get in the flow. There was a good flow last week. You know, the players felt it too. So that's me observing that and looking at that.
What did you learn from last week? Like in terms of getting that flow, was there something that happened that maybe you can, you know, add to your, you know, next time you're calling?
Yeah, I don't want to go into it and give the opponent something else, but I can see, you know, whether it's certain calls, set up this and that. That's the thing that I'm learning a little bit. How they've done it here, which has worked really well. And I'm not saying I tried to do that, but I can see how it goes. That's the biggest thing I caught from it.
John, flow can be a hard thing to quantify.
Sure.
When you're feeling it, to you, what does it look like? How does it feel, I guess?
Well, you saw it last week. I mean, and for one series, we had all first downs. You know, I talk about CFL football. First, second, it wasn't even that. I don't even know what it was. Might have been Tecmo. But you can feel it. You know what I'm saying? It's just first down, second down, first down, second down, first down, second down. And we had those moments this year. But it's just like everything was clicking last week. And I just thought that was really cool seeing that. And the players feed off of that. You know what I mean? So that's the thing I've learned from it. Because there's, you know, when I was calling it, I'm like, okay, what do you want this, you want that, you know what I mean? So I'm waiting at times for a call at times. Now Dan's just calling, you know what I'm saying? And then he'll say, okay, give me a pass, you know what I mean? Give me a pass. What are you thinking? And boom, I'm ready. So like during the game, I'm ready. I'm ready. Whatever the down and distance is, whatever it is, I'm ready for the pass. As soon as he says, I'm giving it to him. So that's kind of how I'm approaching it.
A lot of people may hear you talk and just wonder like how you can be so positive, you know what I mean? Like it does seem like a demotion getting the play calling duties stripped from you. So can you explain that a little bit more? Because we've seen it here before where it happened and it didn't work out with, you know, Anthony. And so,
well, I'm still doing everything again, but I'm not calling the game. So you always have to be positive. You know, it ain't about me. It's about the team. It always is. I keep saying that, but it really is. I'm going to do whatever it takes. And why mope around so players can see that? What good does that do? I mean, to me, that's the way I've been taught. Just growing up and the coaches that I've been around, you always be positive. You know, you do whatever it takes to win the game and to prepare the team. And that's what I'm still doing. Because then it's about me if I just mope around and players see that. I'll never do that. Never.
Would you work your whole career to be a play caller? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So is there a shot to the right at all when it gets taken away? Nothing like that?
I don't see it. You know what I mean? It's just like, okay, I was a starter, now I'm not. Okay, what do I got to do to become a starter again? You know what I'm saying? You know, if someone tells you you're demoted and you're not going to be here anymore and you're going to work for high school games, what are you going to do? You're going to keep fighting, right? That's what we do. You know, that's what the Lions do. You know what I'm saying? This organization's been awesome. And they live off grit, adversity, fighting through it. That's me. You know, like I said, my dad worked for GM for 30-some years. I saw him work on the assembly line forever. So that's all I know. Like I said, I was cut 6 times as a player, been fired plenty of times. What do I got to do to get better? All right, that's the way you approach it. That's the way we tell our players, right? Player loses starting position, what is he going to do? He's just going to mope around and quit? No, he's not. Because we don't hire guys like that, or we don't draft players like that. We hire guys that are fighters, and we'll do whatever it takes.
Scotty talked this week just about some of the coverages that Saint is seeing, and some of the double coverages, the over top, and how that's opening some stuff up for some other guys, JMO in particular, and some of those crossing routes and short stuff. Have you guys seen an increased frequency of that with Saint teams trying to take him away, and how can that open things up like it did last week for others?
Yeah, we've been seeing it, and they've also doubled JMO at the same time. You know, a couple of teams have done that. Every team's different. Some people do it, some people don't. Some people play zone, and double it that way. They cloud. Last week, we didn't really see any of that. I mean, we were taking advantage of what they were doing. It was pretty simple. But yeah, and we know that going out. Usually it happens on third down, right? So that's my job to figure out ways, okay, how do I get him open a certain way? And I love that. And I love the game planning aspect of that. I live for this week. You know what I mean? I live for it because it's a little chess match that you play, you know, to get guys open, and then you show them, this is why we're doing this. Okay, you're going to get double. Well, let's do this. So you can't. There's certain ways to do it. Like I said, I've done it for a long time. You know, when I'm looking at how to get guys open, I'm thinking of all the plays and guys that I've been around, how we've done it, the coaches I've been around. I just love that whole aspect of just the grind during the week and figuring out things. And, you know, and then game day, they go make it work, and it's cool when it does work, you know. Every once in a while they get you, so.
You brought up Fangio in the opening.
Go ahead.
You brought up Fangio in your opening comments. Obviously, long track record of success.
Yeah.
How you can't stay the same in this league. So how have you seen maybe you can't stay the same in this league? You have to constantly be evolving. How have you seen him schematically evolve over the years?
He's been the same. I'm just telling you. You can be the same, and that's the way Vic has been. He knows. I mean, there's been plenty of guys. Vic has this tree of these certain coordinators. They all do the same thing. That's why I said he relies on the front. I mean, these guys get after it, and they make it tough. It's hard to get big plays against these guys. But the way the game plan is set up, we'll see what we can do. If it's there, we check the ball down and we move forward. They've always gotten a lot of turnovers, and that's something that they haven't done this year. Because he's always been in tops, even when I was at the Niners. Well, best defense, why? Because they got a lot of turnovers. Wherever he's been, they've gotten a lot of turnovers. That has not been the case, and we do a really good job protecting the ball. But Vic does what he does. Is there going to be a few wrinkles? Yeah, there'll be something. To look, when you look at the prior games and stuff, there might be well, maybe we should do this if they didn't fix that, but that won't be the case. So.
Was it frustrating? I mean, some of the initiatives that you kind of talked about in the preseason didn't really materialize, I guess, during the time that you were calling plays, like the deep shots as much, and then also even like the 21 personnel package with Montgomery and Gibbs.
Yeah.
I mean, some of this stuff that you, was that kind of tough to kind of go through? I mean, not to.
No, it's not tough. I mean, we've done it, but defenses play our packages differently sometimes, so you can't do it. We're not just going to go out there and bang our head against the wall. Okay, if we don't get a certain defense versus a certain personnel grouping, there's no reason to do it. That's what you do. So what do they do? Okay, what do they do this personnel grouping? Okay, let's do this. It's not like I'm trying to take shots. We're trying to take shots. And we've had some. We've had some when I was calling the plays. So it's just about what the defense is doing, guys. And then how the progression goes, how Jared sees it. I mean, if it's not there, we check the ball down. We're not going to force a ball. So we've had those packages. We've had plenty of packages. They're always in. So the guys are always ready for it. But if they're playing something different, we're not going to do it.
You two game plan against this front, and you see the all-purpose attention that Jameer and David get. What type of value does having Craig and Sione when he's not hurt bring if you are looking at different run packages?
Start over with the question.
Sure. As you're game planning against this Philly front,
Yep.
and Jameer and David
Yep.
obtain a lot of all-purpose attention, what value does having Reynolds and Vaki when he's not hurt bring as you're looking at different run packages?
Yeah, it's a good question. So, I mean, when those two guys are in, you talking about in at the same time or just when they're in?
Yeah, either.
Yeah, I mean, some defenses, like if that back is in, they're thinking this, that back in, you know what I mean? They think that way. And that's what we have to figure out. But we don't look at it like that. Our backs can really do everything. So we just move forward. with Vaki and Reynolds. You know, they're always ready in case they have to show up. They do a good job in practice, and they're veterans. They've done this. So, yeah, I mean, there's certain runs that we want this guy to do and that guy to do, but really, like both our backs, they can just do it all, and that's a cool thing to have, you know. So the defenses can't catch up on that. Yeah,
John, you said you were taught, you learned at a young age. I'm curious, you know, the positive outlook, the grind. Who did that? Was your dad, other people, coaches, high school coaches?
Well, like I said, my dad, he worked all the time on a semi line for 30 years. I mean, you work on a semi line, that's pretty tough. I mean, he didn't want to elevate. You know what I mean? He just wanted, because that's all he knew was just the grease and everything. But you know, but John Gruden, that's all I've learned. I've learned everything through him, and how you approach the game and your team and how you prepare. Everything's been through him. And that's what he's always told me, you know what I mean? So he's just like, man, if you're ever freaking sick, you just fake it. You don't ever let them know. If you're miserable, you're in a bad attitude, you don't let them know. Because the players feed off of you. Just like we feed off Dan, right? We all feed off Dan. All right? If he just went up there and went, okay, guys, let's make sure we go win. No, that's not what you want. You know what I mean? You want to, that's what the head coach should do. He's the leader. And that's all I know. I mean, what is it? Like I just said, and I know I'm saying the same thing over and over. All that matters is the team. I mean, Bo Schembechler said it back in the day, right? It's always about the team. It's always about the team. It ain't about individuals. It's about us together. All right, so how do we do that? All right, let's fight whatever we got to do to make this thing work. That's what we're going to do. Because the ultimate goal is to win the Super Bowl. And the only way you're going to win the Super Bowl, you win it as a team. That's it. It's not individuals. Never has been. And so that's the way I approached it. Coach Payton, he taught me the same thing. And the people skills that I learned with Coach Payton has just been awesome. You know, and Pete Carroll when I was at USC. I mean, that's a lot of pretty good coaches right there. And everybody, each one of those guys has their strengths that I've kind of learned from. Which is a cool thing to be around those guys and watch them and see how they do things. But the way Dan makes this team work, the way they look at him, man, it is really awesome, man. He's got it, you know what I mean? He's got it. And the players feed off of that. And it's really cool to see that.